I have been looksmaxing for 4 years, and if there's one lesson I could give you, then it is to build healthy habits, because it will completely transform your overall looks. In this video, I will walk you through the exact habits and routine that I do that turned me from an average looking guy to now having the same traits as models. My name is Oliver, and I help guys become the most attractive version of themselves. And if you didn't know already, building an aesthetic face and body is the single best way to do so. So if you want to look like a model, then have a look at the top link of the description. All the details are there. So before I tell you the routine that changed my looks, I want you to first understand how to build good habits and break the bad ones, because that's our foundation to actually becoming more attractive. So step number 1, how to get better habits in just 4 simple steps. So back in 2023, I was in my house and I wanted to get a new habit of trying to meditate. Every single day, that was my goal. And I wanted to meditate for around 10 minutes to 20 minutes. But the thing is, when I started out, I did it for the first day and I could only do it for like 1 minute. But that wasn't really the problem. The problem was that the next day I didn't do it. And then the next day I would do it. But then the next 2 days I wouldn't do it. So basically I would stay inconsistent all the time. Then I would forget about the habit, and then I would be thinking about it again like 1 month later. Then I would be like, oh yeah, meditation. That was actually one of my goals. So that was something that I started to implement, which was the most powerful weapon that I've ever tried to use when it comes to habits. And that was that I tried to make a piece of paper where I had the headline of the month, and then I would have a headline of the habit that I wanted to build, and then the days of the month on the side going all the way down to like the end of the month. And the fun thing was that I didn't have any expectations this time. So I didn't really have any goals of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it for 20 minutes. The only thing that I wanted to do was just do the habit for the day. So the thing was, I didn't care if I did it for 10 seconds, or if I did it for 5 seconds, or if I did it for 1 minute, 2 minutes. It didn't matter. The most important thing was just that I did the habit. So I had literally the wall piece of paper right beside of my bed, because that's where I would always use to meditate. So I would have it right on my desk, kind of side of the desk, so I could just easily reach over, and then with my pencil I could just, make that kind of tick off, so I would know that I've done the habit. Just doing this small action step of making this piece of paper made me be consistent of meditating for 2 whole months, every single day. And I went from meditating from 10 seconds a day to meditating for like 5 minutes every single day. And funny enough, as soon as I had filled out this entire piece of paper, I didn't do the habit again. So the way that I learned how to become this consistent at a certain habit was that I implemented some tips in a book which is called Atomic Habits. Basically atomic, small action steps. So small things leads to bigger things, basically. And this book was written by an author called James Clear. And James Clear, he first of all talks about the process that your brain does when you are about to do an habit. So this process is called the 4 steps of a habit loop. So the 4 steps is, first of all, the cue. The second thing is the craving. The third thing is the response. And then the 4th step is the reward. So that is the 4 cycle that you're always going through. And this actually makes really much sense, because let me give you an example of this. So for example, this could be that in the morning you wake up, your phone makes that beeping sound, you get a message, so you get that notification sound. That's the cue that comes into your head, because the sound comes. Then the craving comes, because then you think, I want to know who or what the notification says. So maybe it's a message from someone, right? So you get the craving, you want to check your phone. Then there's the response. Either you check your phone or you don't check your phone. Then let's say in this example, as most people would do, they would check their phone and then they would see the notification and then they would get the rewards. So for example, you would feel relieved because now you have seen what was the message or what that you wanted to know. So now that we know the principle of all our habits, we can use this to our advantage, because this is the next thing, because that is the 4 laws of behavior change. So basically we can do some small things to make a habit more easy. So there's 4 steps to this according to the author James Clear. And these 4 steps, they are, first of all, you make it obvious. So the cue has to be obvious. So just like for a bad habit, like checking our phone too much, it's very easy to check the message because we always have our phone right beside us, right? So it's very easy to just see our phone, check it, and then see the notification. So first of all, we want to make it obvious. So the next step is to make it attractive. So the habit loop was the cue and then the craving, right? So we want the craving to be attractive. So my action step to you is to think about the good habits and then think about how we can make it attractive. So the third step is the response. So when we do the action, and that's where we want to make it easy. Then the fourth one, which is the last one, we want to make it satisfying. So we want to make the reward satisfying, because if it's satisfying, we want to repeat the habit over and over again. So let's take an example for now with some healthy habits that I'm doing. So for example, I'm going to the gym 2 times a week, and I have consistently done that every single week for like 4 years now. So how have I been able to do this? So let's go through the rankings again. So first of all, that's the cue. So we want to make it obvious. The way that I've made coming to the gym obvious is that every single time I go to school, on my way home from school, the gym is actually on the way. So I always see it when I take my bicycle on the way home. The way that I then make it more attractive is that I have already packed my school bag with the gym equipment that I'm going to use. So for example, my gym clothes, for example, I have already packed it inside of my bag. Maybe I also switched the clothes from the school, so I'm already in the sweaty kind of, what could you say, sport mode. So it's way easier to just go into the gym because I've already changed. And then again, the way that I make it easy is that it's on my way home from school. So when I take my bicycle, I literally just have to turn my bicycle to the left over the street, and then I'm at the gym. So that way it's so easy for me to go to the gym. It doesn't take that much brain power to first of all pack my things, take my bicycle, ride 20 minutes. It's right on the way from home. And then here the interesting thing is that you can make it satisfying in lots of different ways. So first of all, you could, for example, do it by having a cheat meal. So if you, for example, go to the gym, then when you come home, you can have like a dessert. I wouldn't recommend this because that kind of ruins your progress that you just made. So for example, in this example, you could do the attractive thing to be a hot shower. So you will get a nice warm shower, maybe a massage if you can get that. It could be such things, for example. It could be a protein shake. All of these different things. Okay, awesome. So now that we know the fundamentals of building a habit, now I want to actually show you the habits that I want you to do, where you need to think about yourself, how you can make this habit more attractive using the previous steps that I just talked to you about. So I did some research on models because I thought, it can't be true that there's some people who are just born with good genetics and then there's others like me who just isn't attractive. So there's something that I researched about and that I came to a conclusion that every single attractive person, basically mostly models, have. It's something that I call the 4 key facial muscles. So basically in our face we have over 40 different muscles, but there's 4 muscles that we literally can train ourselves even if we have bad genetics, and we can become more attractive by training these muscles, just like if we trained our body. So that's what I want to walk you through now. So the first muscle that we can train is something called our Orbicularis muscle. So as I said, the first muscle is the muscle called the Orbicularis oculi muscle. So basically this muscle is the muscle that we have around our eye muscles. So basically you can see here from my left and my right, I have two pictures of me. The picture on this side is me at 18 years old. And the picture of me on the right side is 19 years old. In 1 year, I made this much transformation. And as I said, one of them is, as you can see, the orbicularis muscle. So the orbicularis muscle is the muscle you have around your eye area here. So basically, we can train it by taking our index fingers at the end of our eyebrows, and then we can pull it upwards and to the sidewards, to the side, and then we can just try to squeeze down without closing our eyes. And by doing this, we will actually activate our orbicularis muscle. Basically what this does is that over time, this eyebrow here will get pulled up while this eyebrow will come downwards. So you can see the results here. Just look at this and then this eye area. You can clearly see the difference. Such a big difference. Over here, I call having these kind of eyebrows a ghost look. I call that having like either rainbow or like a ghost look. Like basically, when you see something that surprises you. So basically like you see a girl on the street with big titties. Oh shit, bro, she got massive titties. You know, that kind of look, right? So that's the look that we want to avoid. Instead, we want to have this more calm look on the right side. So the second muscle, which is the most attractive muscle, is the muscle that is called the Masseter muscles. So the Masseter muscles is the muscles that we have right around here, around our jaw. So you can clearly also see that I have gotten so much more bone mass at my like jaw from this picture here to over here. And the way that we train this to get that kind of attractive TikTok boy's jawline is to do something called the prayer. So the prayer is where you take your hands together like you will be praying, and then you apply pressure upwards with your thumbs while resisting downwards with your jawline. Doing this is kind of difficult, and that is exactly why for all these muscles that I teach you, I have a program in the top link of the description where I personally review your technique and form and make a specific workout plan just for you, so you will save so much time instead of you having to figure out all of this yourself. Because I'm telling you, it's so difficult to like get just the right amount of pressure on the muscle. Where is the muscles exactly? How do I like activate it properly? Do I need to have my fingers more inwards, more here? Like all of these specific things I teach inside of my program. So go have a look at it. It's in the top link of the description. All the details are there. So for the third muscle is what's called the hyoid bone. So the hyoid bone is the muscle that we have right here around our throat area. So basically right here. Basically, when this muscle is trained, your skin literally gets tightened up. You can clearly see I have such a more sharper jawline look here than over here. I basically have no definition on the left side, but I have so much on the right side. This is literally just because this skin here, basically, there's two reasons why people have skin hanging off here. First of all, they're fat, so they just need to lose weight. But there's also skinny people who has skin hanging off here. And that is literally because you haven't been training your hyoid bone. When the hyoid bone is trained, your skin goes from this floppy here to getting pulled up like that, basically. So the exercise that I want you to do, like the action step, is that you lie at the end of your bed and then you think about rolling your neck inwards like this. That way you will activate the hyoid bone muscle and you will get these results in like no time. The last muscle, which is the fourth one, is actually the palate. So the palate, basically, we want to apply pressure by doing something called mewing. So mewing is where we take our tongue against our palate behind our teeth, not on our teeth, but behind, on our palate, basically the roof of our mouth. And then you want to apply pressure upwards with our tongue like this. The way that you can see this is activating is, first of all, of course, you feel the burn, but second, that the skin is kind of hanging off here. Look, I'm doing mewing now. Now I don't. You can clearly see the difference, right? So those are literally just the muscles that would turn you into a model, like facially at least. And the thing is, as I said, it can be very difficult to do all of these different exercises because the techniques are so complicated to doing them. So again, I will just highly recommend you for coming down and click the top link of the description, because I will literally do everything in my power to help you become more attractive. Because I know how it is to being fucking ugly, bro. Like, aren't you tired of being it? Think about it. My program is $49. I have literally 4 years of experience in this topic. You will save so much time if you just get my help, and you will actually get the results. Think about it. What is that? Is that like 2 to 3 meals on McDonald's? And you like, think about the return on investment here. Like, you literally just have to say no 3 times to your friends on the McDonald's, and then you will basically have gained that money back. It's literally that powerful. And here you will literally become a model. Wouldn't you invest $50 of your life literally becoming like a model? I think that's the best investment that you could do in your life. Again, it's in the top link of the description. All the details are there. So now we are at the end of this video. I have taught you how to get more, like, better habits, the fundamentals of getting them, and I've showed you the exercises into a habit. So I don't really have that much else to say. Implement the steps and you will become the most attractive version of yourself. And if you want to get more videos like this, where I teach you exactly how to become the most attractive version of yourself, both facially and with your body, then I will highly recommend you to go down and click subscribe. It's the best channel to teach these things.